In today's video, I'm going to discuss with you the different type of visa through which you can get a permanent residency in the UK, also known as ILR, which means indefinite leave to remain. Starting from the longest route straight away to the shortest one. And not only that, I'm also going to share with you the types of visa through which you can never get a PR in the UK. So make sure that you stick around till the end. And if you are someone who is new to my channel, let me tell you that I come up with all such amazing content every week. So make sure that you hit that like button and subscribe to my channel. With that being said, let's get started. Let me tell you the difference between ILR and British citizenship. So an ILR is nothing but it gives you the right to live indefinite amount of time in the UK, which means that you can work here, you can do your business, you can study and whatnot. But bear in mind that you will have to stay on ILR for at least 1 year in order for you to jump on to get a British citizenship. Now let's talk about British citizenship, which basically means that you are applying for a British passport. As I just told you now that in order for you to apply for a British passport, you need to stay on ILR for at least 1 year. So it's good for countries where dual citizenship is allowed. For example, if you're someone from the US, Pakistan, Bangladesh or any other country where dual citizenship is allowed, then I would definitely recommend you to go for British passport. But for example, if you are someone who is from countries like India where dual nationality is not allowed, so that means that in order for you to get a British passport, you will have to give up your Indian passport. So in that case, you can always apply for an ILR. That means that you will still keep your Indian passport and at the same time you can stay in the UK for as long as you want. Honestly speaking, there are n number of visas through which you can get your ILR and apply for a British passport. In today's video, I'm going to discuss with you the most common visa categories through which international students and international workers apply for their PR and British passport. So I'm going to discuss with you three type of routes through which you can apply for an ILR, starting from the longest period going all the way through the shortest one. The first one is a 10-year route where I'm going to discuss with you two visa categories. Second one is the most common one, which is 5-year route, in which I'm going to discuss with you three type of visa categories. And the last one is the shortest one, which is a 3-year route, where there's three type of visa categories I'm going to discuss. Starting with the first one is a 10-year route, which technically means that you need to stay in the UK for a consecutive 10 years, given the fact that in any years you cannot stay away for more than 180 days. So this is the longest route. It requires you to have a sheer willpower and your love to get PR in the UK, because staying in a country for 10 years, that too making sure that in any years you cannot stay away for more than 180 days is really tough. Because bear in mind that if you stay away for more than 180 days in any 1 year, that technically means that you have to restart again from that year for another 10 years to get your PR. So this is the toughest one. So the two visa that falls under this category is a student visa and ICT, which is intra-company transfer. So starting a student visa, which technically means that you have to show that you studied in this country for a considerable amount of 10 years. So how you can do that? You can do this by doing multiple degrees. For example, you came here to do your bachelor's with a placement year, which is technically 4 to 5 years. Then you applied for your master's or your PhD, which is another 4 to 5 years. So this way you can combine your 10 years, and after that you can apply for your ILR. Second one is ICT, which is nothing but an intra-company transfer. So let's say, for example, if you're working in India in companies like Accenture, Infosys or TCS, and if they transferred you from India to UK on ICT visa, then you fall on the 10 years route, which means that you will need to work in the UK for at least 10 years before you can apply for ILR. Things to consider is whether it's a student visa or an ICT visa, all they need from you is that you stayed in the UK for at least 10 years. Second is a 5-year route, which is the most common route and the route that even I'm on right now in the UK. So this technically means that you have to stay in the UK for a consecutive 5 years, with any year where you cannot stay away for more than 180 days. So there are three visa types that fall under this category, which I'm going to discuss in this video. So the first one is a work visa, specifically tier 2 skilled worker visa and healthcare visa. Second one is a dependent visa of skilled worker visa or a healthcare visa. And the third one is dependent visa of a British passport holder. So starting with the first one, which is pretty straightforward. So if you're someone who is on a tier 2 skilled worker visa or healthcare visa, so all you have to do is stay on that visa for at least 5 consecutive years. And after that, you can apply for an ILR. But you know where most people get confused? Let's say, for example, you came to this country to do your master's, which is technically around from 1 to 2 years. And then after completing your master's, let's say you're lucky enough to get a job on a tier 2 skilled worker visa. And then if you are thinking that your 2 years of master's is also going to be considered for your 5-year route, then you are completely wrong. Because when they say 5-year route, They are trying to say that you need to stay 5 years on your skilled worker visa, which technically means that the day when you start working on your skilled worker visa is when your time starts. So let's say for example you came in 2020 to do your masters and your masters got finished in 2021, and let's say you start working from 2022, so count your 5 years from 2022, which is end of 2026. So from the beginning of 2027 is when you can apply for your PR. I hope it makes sense for you now. The second one is a dependent visa of someone who is already on a tier 2 skilled worker visa or healthcare visa, which is pretty straightforward. So for them, pretty much everything that is applied for skilled worker visa also applies to them. So they also have to stay in the UK for 5 years and any year where they cannot stay away for more than 180 days. And if you are someone who is already on a dependent visa and want to know how to get a job in the UK, then don't worry, I have already made a video out on that. The link is in the description. Check out after you are done watching this video. Let's now discuss the most misunderstood part, where people think that if you marry someone who is a British passport holder, then you're gonna get British passport in like 2 or 3 years, which is not right. If you check gov.uk, then you will find out that it's pretty much the same like how you are a normal dependent of a skilled worker visa holder. So let's say for example, if you marry someone who is a British passport holder, and even you will have to stay for a 5-year period. There's only a slight change where instead of applying for a dependent visa, you're gonna apply for a 2.5 year spouse visa, and after completing of 2.5 years, you need to apply for 2.5 years again. So technically, it adds up to 5 years, which is pretty much the same. Let's now talk about the shortest route to get your PR in the UK, which is 3 years. Yes, you heard me right. In just 3 years, you can apply for an ILR in the UK. There are 3 types of visa that fall under this category. First one is Global Talent Visa. Second one is an Innovation Founder Visa. And the third one is a Business Visa. All these visas are very hard to get and it's not that common, which basically means that either you are someone who is identified as a global talent, or you're applying for an innovator visa where you're identified as someone who is a critical resource. And the third one is a business visa where you need to invest a considerable amount of money in the UK and also hire people in the UK to show to the government that you are actually starting your business, and that way you can get your PR in just 3 years. So now, as promised in the beginning of the video, let me now share with you the type of visa where you can never get your PR in the UK. So make sure you are aware of that. Number one is seasonal worker visa, which technically means that you are coming to the UK for only a short amount of time for seasonal work. Second one is a tourist visa, which is pretty much understandable. Tourist visa is nothing but you are just coming to this country as a tourist, and that means that you are not eligible for PR. Third one is a short-term visa, which is pretty much the same like seasonal worker visa, that you are coming in the UK for only a short amount of time for a short amount of work that you are going to do. Fourth one is a highly potential individual visa, which gives you the permission to live in the UK for at least 2 years. And to apply for this, you must be awarded a qualification by an eligible university in the last 5 years, but this cannot guarantee your PR. And the last one is a charity worker visa, which is a short-term temporary work visa that allows overseas nationals to work in the UK's charitable sector. So that's it from this video. I hope that you find the video informative. If you did, then please make sure to hit that like button. And if you are someone who is new to my channel, then I really request you to hit that subscribe button, because I come up with all such amazing content every week. With that being said, bye for now.